America was an international trading post as well as it was heaven, you know. And that's why the trade winds go straight to the middle Central Americas, and then you find yourselves next to all the temples and, you know, in the greatest metropolitan self-sustainable models in the world, where they had, you know, cities with millions of people on water, you know. I mean, they had floating cities basically with Tenochtitlan. And so if we're looking at how to sustain millions of people in self-sustainable practices, we look at, you know, some of these ancient models that existed here in the Americas. And they existed in other parts of the world, but primarily they were indulgent here in America. And that's why you see the diversity of thousands of different languages in the Americas, and many different, you know, beautiful, like for instance in Algonquin, you know, which is the linguistic family that the Anishinaabe are a part of. We have 400 ways to say or express I love you, not one way to express I hate you. So how can these Christian missionaries tell us that we lied, stole, and cheated? That wasn't known to us if we couldn't express our hate. In Pomo, we didn't have a word for sad. And you go all the way throughout Turtle Island and you'll find examples, little examples like that. How could we lie, steal, or cheat? Or how do, you know, it was unknown to us. We walk through these realms of different dimensional portals, and we have certain strengths that we could call upon within these realms, and we have weaknesses that we draw upon in these realms. And one realm just passed us, and that was to unite intertribally, intergenerational, intergalactic, you know, internation, you know, and that was to create another third party, like the Zapatistas did in Mexico when they had their elections. You know how like the PRI was in power for a long time, and then they were going against the PAN or something like that. And well, the Zapatistas, they created a walk that was a spiral walk, and it was called, I believe it was called the Other Campaign. And in the Other Campaign, they basically introduced an indigenous Bill of Rights. And Vicente Fox actually had to acknowledge it, because they were a movement that a lot of people were listening to worldwide, not just in Mexico. And so they created their own voice. And so they had 1,111 Zapatistas caravan to Mexico City from Chiapas, which is where they uprose in 1994, and they took over I think 11 cities or something through arms. But then they negotiated, and now they have like peace terms with Mexico. But they were all indigenous people, Indigenous Alliance of Maya, Zapoteca, Mayos, Cucapa, Quiloa, a lot of different, Mexica, Aztec, you know, a lot of different intertribal. And so we had an opportunity like that here in America, and we still do, if we do it before inauguration. Because see, when Obama and McCain were battling for presidency, I think it was one of the most costly, you know, in history. You know, well, I know definitely Hillary and Obama was a $1 billion campaign, you know, thing going on. And so if somebody got to have $1 billion to convince people that they're truthful and they're honest and that their policies are good, I think if somebody needs $1 billion to say anything, I don't think I trust them, you know. And so the Native voice could have came as that third party here in America, and that Native voice has always been all-inclusive. You know, and that's why most of the prophecies, the ancient ones, not the New Age prophecies, but the ancient ones, always talked about the seventh generation. And so we wanted to see the seventh generation rise up and point out the conditions that we're living in America and in the world: global warming, globalism, terrorism, all of these issues that, you know, immigration, that are before United States and Western establishment and their policies and how they're going to handle that. Well, we wanted to introduce an indigenous voice here in America And we're positive that America is ready to listen. And we're not only America, but the world is ready to listen to a message we've been trying to say for 500 years. And that is that we are one people, that we have one earth, that we live under one sun, and that we have one heartbeat, and that we have, that we're one people, and that we need to come together and face this one problem, which is monarchy, and that we need to give true democracy a real chance for survival. Because we have not been, for the past 500 years here in America, been, living democracy. It's been a fascist democracy. And so just because, a black man comes along and is now the president does not mean that there's going to be justice or equality to, or change. It just means that we're going to see a new dimension of this demon, and how it operates and works, and what lengths it'll go to for survival. This parasital, thinking will go to just to survive, and the extremities it'll put itself in to allow its survival, and to allow its chaos to continue, and its confusion and distraction and diffusion, of the focus of why we're all here. Turtle Island is, North America, what most people in the world know as North America, and but collectively, indigenous people from coast to coast, from north to south, have stories, and these stories all explain our origins and how our creation stories, and a lot of them point to the same story, which is, we're on the back of a turtle, a giant turtle here in North America, and so that's why we call it Turtle Island. And then Seven Generation Nation is basically all my relations. Seven Generation Nation is the circle, and where a world where many worlds fit, many hoops that come together and form one hoop. And so that's the Seven Generation Nation. So in today's world, if it was natively controlled, I think that it would already be what we're striving for. Because I think that the natives were already the seventh generation. I think they were already the mix of all peoples, and because you go across Turtle Island or North America, this North American continent, and you see all the features of the world. You see slanted eyes, all the different facial features, or all the different, genetic features that are demonstrated on Earth with the humans. And what I refer to Earth as is the Trinity Kingdom, which is Africa, Europe, and Asia, which are all connected through land. And Turtle Island, or North America, is what the Bible, or biblically, or all these other documents that point to the land in the clouds, or heaven on earth. And it was just a higher vibration of living. If we understand about dimensions and vortexes and portals, then we understand that, the ocean was like one big vortex, one big dimensional portal that you had to really be close to in order to understand the elements that controlled that area. And if you worked with them and you had that higher vibration of knowledge, then you got into Turtle Island, you got into heaven, you got into, and that's why King Tut had in his sarcophagus coca leaves and tobacco, which are two medicines, two products of the Americas. And the Chinese were here, and I think that the natives were just all of the races mixed.